Hello there, welcome to this channel where we talk about real estate titles in Nigeria. I can bet you that if you are a client or a realtor, this is the best place you want to be because you want to learn about the titles that of land properties in Nigeria so that when you're going for anything, you will know what you're going for. And I can bet you this is one of the best lessons you will get. Now let's proceed to the lesson. Let's go. The Nigerian Constitution's of 1978 states that all land belongs to the state governor, and as such, the government has the exclusive rights to request for a parcel of land, especially if it's going to be used for a general purpose that will benefit all. So, which means nobody actually owns a land in a state, so to say. And this constitution was made 1978. And most of the laws bind for 99 years. Well, the years has not elapsed yet, so we are still waiting for 99 years. That means in the year 2077, many things are going to change. So let's get there. So now let's get to the land title proper. Now, what are land titles? Land titles are corporate documents that shows the ownership of a piece of land. The document contains vital information like the property owner's name, a legal description of the property, a history of past ownership, and the terms of usage of the property. Land titles also contains information on a restriction on the land, such as mortgage, easement, and property tax liens. Now, what are the types of land in Nigeria? Please follow this lesson very well because they are very important and very vital. So you get to know the details of these things one by one. Now, basically, there are two types of land in Nigeria. There is the acquired and there is the free. Acquired are properties that the government has mapped out as that is going to be meant for use over time. It could be now or over time. So it is a parcel of land that the government has mapped out for use now and in future by the state. This simply means that these land are government-owned land, though they may not be in use. Now, that's why most scammers take advantage of that not being in use and sell it to the public. And of course, that you can almost imagine what it's going to look like, because over time, if the government want to make use of the land, their property, they come to demolish everything that they see in it without compensation. Why? Because the land originally was not a public land, it was government acquired land. So you see, take note about that. Then there's the free. The freehold or the free are places or parcels where the government deem it not in use. Okay, the government has no hands in those properties, and as such, they are released to individual to purchase that portion for use to do whatever they want to do. So that's what we call a free land. Now, what is land tax, or what are land taxes in Nigeria? Let's take care of them one after the other. Number one, we have certificate of occupancy. That is the C of O. A C of O is an official document issued by the state government conferring the ownership title of the land to an individual, groups of persons, or corporate organization. It is arguably the most important land document you can possess, as it not only proves you are the legitimate owner of the land, but also prevent the government from infringing on it without an adequate compensation. It is the title of land that you need to, that when you get, you are fully secure that this property belongs to you. No one can actually come and trample on it and go scot-free without paying you adequately. Now, a C of O is issued once to the first person. Mark that, please. A C of O cannot be transferred. You can't have two C of O's to different person in the same parcel of land. It's only given once, issued once to a person. Okay. Now, if the person wants to subsequently sell the property to another person, the government needs to be aware about, and that is where we go to the next title that talks about the governor's consent. Now, this governor's consent is someone who owns a C of O for over a parcel of land and wants to transfer the ownership to another person by way of mutual agreement of selling property. Now, before the ownership of the land is transferred from an individual or corporate organization to another individual or person or organization, the state governor must approve it. A governor's consent is a document transferring the ownership of the land to the to an individual or corporate entity with the state governor's approval. It is what, and this governor's consent can be gotten by as many as possible, which means that I could own a land, I could acquire a land from a landowner who have a CFO, and I obtain the governor's consent from the government office, okay? And now over time I can also decide to sell the land to the next person, and the next person can also go to purchase for a governor's consent. He also can also do the same thing and transfer to the next. So as many as possible can actually acquire the governor's consent, which is still very valid because there can only be one CFO over a portion of land. So which means governor's consent is very valid. Then the next is excision and gazette. Excise land, let's say, and now I explained earlier about the two types of land, acquired and free. The government has an acquired land over, and then they want to excise certain portion. Okay, now they have a place that has been acquired by the government, and over time they deem it fit, or they don't want to use a certain portion. Okay, so they want to release it out to the public to make use of it, okay, for their own use. Now that trying to release it out is what we call excision. So trying to excise what has already been acquired by them to the public. And so what they will accompany that excision is what we call gazette. What they will give as title is gazette. So if you are going to buy an excise land, make sure you have your gazette at hand, because if there's no gazette, that means there's no proper authenticity of government giving that land property to you. So the title that the government want to excise the land is what we call gazette. So with gazette, you can use it to procure your CFO from them, and so on and so forth. If you buy an excise land, I hope that is clear. Before we proceed to the next, if you are getting any value from what you are seeing here, please give us a thumbs up by clicking a like, so that the algorithm can share to as many people as possible. And of course, do remember to subscribe, because we are also going to be there for you full time. Now let's go. And the next is what? Grant of probate and letter of administration. Well, this grant of probate is given to a deceased relative. Let me read. This document confers ownership title to a deceased person's relative or representative. Now, the relative or representative of the deceased person must obtain a grant of probate if the deceased left a will. Now, someone dies and then left a will. Now, if he leaves a will, then the person will obtain what we call grant of probate. That means the document or the land has been transferred from the deceased person to him, which is very, very valid. Now look at in the other hand, a letter of administration is a document used when a land or property owner dies without leaving a will. Okay, normally in real sense, someone can, and without leaving a will. So what happens is that the court will issue a letter of administration to the deceased person's suitable next of kin, which could be the spouse, children, parents, siblings, and so on and so forth. Now the court follows a ranking system to determine who is most suitable to obtain property ownership. Now, so what the court will issue to such a person as a transfer of ownership from the deceased to the new owner is what we call letter of administration. So the two of them are applicable to only a deceased person. Okay. So and the next is what we call registered court judgment. Can you imagine a dispute between two persons or three over a parcel of land, and the land is taken to a court? Now, when the court pass their verdict or judgment on who owns the land, what is to be issued to such a person is what we call registered court judgment, which is very valid also. That means the person has been transferred, or the person has been seen as the rightful owner of that parcel of land, and the court issues a registered court judgment, which is also very valid. In fact, even valid than right of occupancy. Then the next is what we call right of occupancy, R of O. R of O is given to individual by the government for rental purpose. Rental purpose. Okay, let's say a person want to rent a particular parcel of land from the government for the purpose of agriculture, residential building, or anything of that nature, or for industry of anything. Okay, so the government will issue what we call right of occupancy. It could be from the acquired land. Okay, so they will issue what we call right of occupancy, and so which means that the person is to use that property for a period of 99 years, after which it can be revoked, or even in the process, because this R of O can be revoked in the process, because maybe the government want to use the property while it is even still in use. So the government can come and revoke the property because it is on rent to you. Yeah. And of course, we talk about what the freeholds. The freehold, as I earlier discussed before, in most cases in Nigeria, some part of the lands in Nigeria, they operate on the freehold. Now, freeholds are lands that are free from government acquisition, and so individual get what we call the freehold as a title deed. So freehold allows you to, over time, to purchase for C of O if you want to, and other relevant document or titles as you may want, okay, over time. But freehold means it's free from government acquisition. Even from the map, you are free to use the land and do whatever you want to do. So it's also a valid title. That's said that you are free from government hand, which means you can use the land to do what you want to do. If you want us to discuss about anything, please leave it on the comment section. We'll be glad to talk about those topic areas that may concern you or that may interest you. And if you also want us to help you verify, as a client, verify any title that you've gotten or any document that you've gotten from any property, please feel free to contact us. We'll be glad to do it for you. If you want us to help you and get any parcel of land or get a piece of land duly registered, we are also there to go for you. Thank you. See you in the next episode of this clip. Thank you.